What's going on, Five Nine friends? Ironcane here as your host for your weekly dose of Gacha news. Got another beefy episode, guys. This week we got an update on Black Clover Mobile, stories on betas, games to pre-register for, collaborations, and more. As always, if you guys enjoy the video, feel free to leave it a like, comment down below if you'll be playing the new Black Clover Gacha when it eventually releases, and don't forget to subscribe to 5-9 Gaming Mobile for all your mobile gaming needs. Now with that said, let's get right into this week's news. Huge news, guys. Black Clover Mobile is confirmed to be getting a worldwide release. This information was revealed in Shueisha's weekly Shonen Jump magazine just this week, so now everyone will be able to explore this ambitious open world title. The game is set to release sometime this year, so we won't have to wait too long. For those who haven't heard of the game, its tentative title is Black Clover Mobile, and it'll allow players to relive iconic moments from the anime in an open world RPG. Players will start out with Asta and Yuno and will have the opportunity to collect additional characters and add them to their team. And what better way to acquire characters than through a gacha, right? Right? Anyways, for rare characters we have Asta, Yuno, Noelle Silva, Luck Felicia, Magnus Swing, and Finral Rulkase. For super rare or SSRs, we have William Vengeance, Mars, and Vanessa Enoteka. So far, we know for a fact that there will be at least 18 playable characters, with the potential for more on the way as the game goes on. In terms of gameplay, like previously mentioned, it will be an open world RPG, so basically think Genshin Impact, but in the world of Black Clover instead. Based on the trailers we've seen so far, it looks very impressive for its visuals, and with it being similar to Genshin, I'm personally hyped for this one. Black Clover Mobile is expected to release sometime this year for Android and iOS devices worldwide, with a PC version in the works as well. No announcements have been made about a console version at this time. Speaking of open world gachas, it was recently confirmed that Tower of Fantasy will be getting a global release. We talked about this game a few times on the show, but for those that haven't heard of Tower of Fantasy, it's an open world title that features fast-paced combat in a vast futuristic world. So ironically, although the game is Tower of Fantasy, it's less fantasy like with Genshin and more cyberpunky like Nier Automata. In combat, players will be able to create their own fighting styles with the ability to change weapons on the fly, which shakes up the gameplay quite a bit. Also, if you don't want to explore alone, you won't have to. Tower of Fantasy will allow players to join their friends whenever they like. For story, the game is set hundreds of years into the future on a faraway planet called Ada. This planet became the refuge of the inhabitants of Earth after its resources were depleted. But things don't go so smoothly on this new planet. Thanks to a substance referred to as Omnium, Ada faced a great calamity. And this is where the game picks up, in the post-apocalypse after this event. One thing Tower of Fantasy has over its big competitor Genshin is that every character has a unique weapon. We'll see just how unique each weapon is on release, but this does sound fairly impressive. If the game sounds like something you'd like to get your hands on right now, Tower of Fantasy has a closed beta test that players can sign up for until the 29th of this month for those in the US, Canada, Japan, the UK, and Germany. And for release, Tower of Fantasy is expected to launch sometime later this year for PC and mobile devices. Gacha games are making the jump to console, people! Bleach Brave Souls is now available on PS4. If you're unfamiliar with Bleach Brave Souls, it's been around the block for a while, reaching 60 million downloads in 148 countries and regions around the world. Now, for the celebration of the game's launch, players can receive a 5-star summon ticket, so with the game being free, you might as well give it a download just for the reward to start off strong. For controls, Brave Souls has been optimized to work with controllers, and now for the first time, players will get to experience the game on the big screen and enjoy good old controller gaming as they take out enemies. On this version, players will be able to fight both PC and mobile users in the PvP arena, or if you're feeling a bit more collaborative, you can take on co-op quests with others as well. Fortunately though, progress between mobile and PlayStation can't be transferred, so if you do plan on trying out the PS4 version, you'll be starting from scratch. If you'd like to try out Bleach Brave Souls, it's immediately available on PS4, PC, and mobile devices. Looking for a cool collaboration to check out today? Well, you're in luck because Epic 7 just launched its crossover event with Guilty Gear Strive. In terms of characters coming and when they'll be summonable, we have Dizzy, Necro and Undyne, Baiken, and Thornsleeve today through the 31st. Then, starting on the 24th of this month, Alfette, Mrs. Confile, Jacko, and Jacko Sybil will be available to summon until the 7th of April. For events, players can tackle the scales of Juno in varying difficulties ranging from easy all the way to hell. Completing the Hell stage may be difficult, but it'll be worth it because on completion, the rate of the drops of Jacko's lollipops increase by 100%, meaning you're guaranteed to get this item. These lollipops can be exchanged in the special collaboration shop where players can use their collected pops to get goodies, with the best one being, in my opinion, would be the tickets for 5-star collab character Soul. If you'd like to participate in the collaboration, you can do so right now for Android and iOS devices on Global. Square Enix's upcoming mobile title, Echoes of Mana, is now available for pre-registration. For longtime fans and newcomers alike, players will be able to work with the iconic characters from previous titles in this 2D mobile action RPG on their search for the legendary Mana Sword. Speaking of characters, the game will feature more than 20, who will all be fully voiced. For gameplay, things are kept simple. All players have to do is swipe and tap their screen to use skills and items to take down bosses. And if they find themselves struggling, all they have to do is join up with a friend in co-op and take down anyone in their way together. For story, the game will feature an all-original story that will bring characters from the entire Mana series, with characters just made for this title exclusively join the roster as well. If you're interested in the game, make sure to tune in for the community live stream that'll be happening tomorrow at 9 p.m. for my fellow East Coasters out there. And if you're sold on the game already, you can pre-register for the game right now. And if 300,000 players do so, everyone will receive 2,700 Spirit Crystals, 3-star Prim, and a 4-star Memory Gem. Echoes of Mana will be available on Android and iOS devices on Global April 30th. For our last global story of the week, we have Time Defenders, which also has open pre-registration for Global. As a reward for registering, players will receive 1 SSR summoning ticket, 3,000 diamonds, and 5 million gold. Time Defenders is described as a revolutionary tower defense game with strategic RPG elements. It takes place in a future version of Tokyo in 2034, where it's up to players to take down the mysterious threat called the Ordo. The key to victory in battles is to combine strategies with abilities to attack and defend against bosses. You must figure out the right timing. In terms of characters, the game will feature over 70 on release, each with their own class and unique attributes. Players will also have the ability to nurture their characters by bringing them to school, sports centers, and more. If you're unsure if this game is for you, it's being developed by Vespa, the same people that brought you King's Raid, so expect the same level of quality from that game. Time Defenders is expected to release sometime this year for Android and iOS devices on Global. Kicking us off for JP and Beyond this week, we have Fullmetal Alchemist Mobile, which was just recently announced to be having a closed beta test in Japan from March 31st to April 8th. Via the game's official website, players have until the 22nd to do so. Only 6,000 users will be chosen, with 3,000 being from Android and the rest being from iOS. So even if you haven't signed up already, you still might have a chance, so better hurry up. If you've been living under a rock and have never heard of Fullmetal Alchemist Mobile, it's an upcoming project that will recreate the scenes from the anime in dynamic 3D with full-length voice acting as well. It's still up in the air how exactly the gameplay will function, but hey, that's why we're having a beta test, right? So come March 31st, we'll finally be able to get our hands on it. Those sold on the game already can pre-register now. And if the game reaches 500,000, all players will acquire enough gacha currency for 2 multis and SR win rate. Fullmetal Alchemist Mobile is set to release later this year for Android and iOS devices on JP, with no announcements of a Western or worldwide release at this time. If you're a Demon Slayer fanatic, then you'll definitely be happy to hear that Monster Strike is having a massive collaboration with that anime. Just to brief you on Monster Strike, it's a slingshot game where you can launch your characters at monsters to deal damage. Be precise with your launch and find the opening thread. See what I did there? Anyways, there's a ton of new and returning characters coming, but let's go over the new ones first, shall we? For new 6 stars, we have Rengoku, Izui, and Nezuko. For 5 stars, there's Sabito and Kamido, and Ai Kakuma. For returning 6-star units, we have the homie Tanjiro, Tomioka, Kocho, Zenitsu, and Inosuke as a duo unit, Murata, and lastly Tamayo and Yushiro. For Murata and Tamayo and Yushiro, they'll be available via Exchange Shop, so complete collaboration-specific quests to get currency to exchange for these units. In other quests, players have the opportunity to obtain some demons as well. Demons available include Enmu, Akaza, Gyutaro, and Daki. As you can see, there's loads of Demon Slayer characters to collect, so good luck getting them all. If you know you'll be on the hunt for them, Monster Strike is immediately available on Android and iOS devices for JP. For our last story of the week, we'll be talking about the news surrounding the upcoming mobile title called The Regular at Magic High School Reloaded Memory. And unfortunately for those eager for its release, it's not good news. The mobile title has been pushed back from its Winter 22 release window to a completely unspecified date, which is a little concerning. The developers said that the reason for the delay was that it took longer to fix the game's bugs than they had planned, and to release the game in a smooth and stable state, meaning that the delay was unfortunately necessary. Once these issues are resolved, a new release date will be announced. Hey, as long as the game releases in a playable and healthy state, that's all that matters, right? Okay, so to brief everyone in on this game in case you forgot, the game will allow players to relive signature scenes from the anime with full-length voice acting. Mobile title will also include an original scenario written by series author Hina Takayama. In combat, players will control characters in real-time magic battles with 3D graphics. There's a special technique that players have at their disposal called reloaded mode, and with it, overall damage dealt is increased for a period of time during battles. Those looking to pre-register can do so right now, and thanks to those who have already, all players will receive enough gacha currency for one multi. If even more people register, everyone will be rewarded with 5 gacha tickets to summon with. The regular at Magic High School reloaded memory will be available on Android and iOS devices for JP sometime in the near future. And with that, another episode is in the books. As always, for the latest in everything gacha related and mobile gaming related, make sure to tune in for every episode of Gacha News. Have a good one, guys. Iron out.